Little dinky updates as of today's date on the shooting of the guy in that neighborhood who was jogging. Travis McMichael's 911 call complaining about somebody in the neighborhood, literally that's it, and him seeing the person run away from him, and their report of being burgled and having a gun supposedly, allegedly taken from their vehicle. It was a 9mm pistol at a different time, are the entirety of the string of break-ins that they were referencing. I guess they may have assumed that a break-in means that they can't be the only one. Literally no references are made anywhere for many months back of any kind of break-ins or any kind of problem in the area. Calls about random strangers in the area? Yeah. The construction site owner is now getting death threats for contradicting the defense's assertions by pointing out that lots of people went in and out of the construction site because there's water taps on site and people would go in and put a bottle under and get some water. Lots of people did, including a middle-aged white couple that went through on the day this happened. The only people being complained about at all, and not by the property owner because he never made a complaint about any of this, nor was there any sign of anything ever being stolen from a construction site, which means this is the safest neighborhood I've ever fucking heard of. The only complaint was literally from Travis McMichaels complaining about a black guy in the neighborhood. Well, he was on the property. Yeah, Travis, so is everybody else. That day, he could have looked out his window, or if he's that close to it, and seen people walking in and out of it. There's no way he wouldn't have been aware of that. So them saying it was a string of break-ins is very likely a lie, but maybe not. And anybody saying something factual, backed up by video that's been released of random people walking in and out of the building, including kids, who are more likely to steal random shit than grown-ups, by the way, if you didn't know about it, because they know that they can't really be put in jail because they're just dumb kids. Him contradicting the defense's assertion or the expectations of certain people who may not even be in the neighborhood, just random people who are on the internet, he's getting death threats. He didn't call the cops. Nothing was taken. Security video shows people walking in the home on many occasions, and locals walking by would use it for the water taps because they were available on a hot day. And in the back area, too. If he had a hose hooked up to the front one, people would walk through the construction site and get a drink out of the back. And Travis McMichael calling in on behalf of the construction site owner is the only other incident that's recorded besides the day the shooting happened. So this string of criminal activity in the area only has one vector: the McMichael family. A missing gun? Maybe. I don't know that either. Assertion: I saw him put his hand in his pants. Next, people have pointed out that the video is not exactly stellar quality. Everybody needs to go out and find out if your security cam will do high resolution video and put it on, react to any movement and record and make sure it has a buffer loop on it. If it doesn't, you really shouldn't bother with it except for insurance purposes. But people have noted that the person on camera doesn't look like the guy who got shot in many cases. So unless he had some radical visual changes. Next one. Someone posted, your video aged like a sauna full of pork meat or something. What? Me explaining that this did not look like what people are saying? And then the assertion is, he was chasing down the car. No, their own assertion from the McMichael family, the McMichael father and son, was that they went after him in the vehicle and chased him down and got in front of him. He's not chasing after them. He's trying to get around to them. He's seeing them draw weapons. It's not brandishing if it's a shotgun. I'm sorry, but really, seriously, chainsaw, fuck you. Yes, it is. You're not legally permitted, according to law in that state, in many states, to use a gun to do a citizen's arrest. If it requires a gun, you get a cop. If you can't get a cop, you might want to stop doing it. Unless it's a matter of life or death, you're not supposed to discharge a weapon. Somebody trying to keep you from shooting him because you are pointing actively at him. If I do this with a shotgun, and you don't think I'm shooting you, you are a troglodyte. You're dumb. I'm not saying it's murder. I'm actually saying that the McMichael father and son worked themselves up into deciding to be a vigilante. This is what causes vigilantism. Don't assume this is just, flamboyantly stupid racism on the part of trolls on the internet, aggravating the situation on purpose to make this look even worse. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they put themselves in a mindset that whoever they suspected must be guilty, and that they had a right to keep and bear arms to take someone out. If someone attacks me by knocking my door down and comes at me with an axe, I'm permitted to use deadly force because it's clear and present danger, a lethal threat. Somebody trying to keep you from shooting him by pushing the gun out of the way or pulling it to the side, which is much more effective, isn't assaulting you. He's trying to keep you from killing him. Any of you who are attacked by anybody and don't fight back because you don't want to appear to... You're running along the road on the left-hand side going towards traffic. He's not running at full speed. He is not. This is an athlete. He's a young kid and he's an athlete. He wasn't running from them or running at them aggressively. He was jogging. They came up behind him according to their own assertions in their own police report. That's not the police report. Yes, it fucking was. I was reading it verbatim and left a link to it. Pushback equals they're guilty at this point. I don't know they're guilty of murder. I'm not. I don't really know that. I can't say that. That's not acceptable. But as we get more data, more of what they said turns out to be not true or just wrong or a fucking lie. Next, I'm going to repeat this. If you think you have the right to chase somebody down while armed because you're doing a citizen's arrest, the only reason you're allowed to draw the weapon or have the weapon in the ready position, you have to look up what that is before you fucking comment below. The ready position for a shotgun is the same as brandishing. It's identical. That's why when people talk about, I'm not brandishing, I'm simply exercising my Second Amendment, we're doing an audit, and I'm totally not aiming a weapon or have it at the ready, when they're literally holding it like this, pointing it at the ground. That's the ready to kill somebody's position. You have your hand near your finger near the trigger. If you have it slung over your back, preferably with a latch on it so that somebody grabbing it would just end up wasting their time trying to pull a trigger. Or better yet, pull out the magazine and hide it and put in an empty one so that if somebody's going to steal it, they have literally nothing except a now obvious case against them. It's not brandishing because you can't holster it. If you draw a weapon and you aim it at somebody, it's considered not brandishing. It's considered assault with a deadly weapon minimum. And it says that you're brandishing if you're using it in a fight, even if you're just using it as a club. You're brandishing it as a weapon. It could be an inanimate object. It could be a hammer. If you do not know what you're talking about, please don't post it under the video anymore. And yeah, I will be deleting anybody who does pushback. You have to acknowledge the following. Travis McMichael's own 911 call indicates one incident that they claimed happened. The other one is a case they filed about a missing 9mm. In the call McMichael made on 9/11, he indicated he saw somebody who appeared to put his hand in his pants. The property that they were discussing, and it is literally the central point of their contention besides their own incident, and it's only their incident. They don't apparently have any video camera work. The entire string they're claiming about is reference to them, and it's one of them is a claim of somebody seen outside, and the other one is a claim of a gun being stolen out of a car, but they don't know anything other than it was stolen between such and such and such and such time. Could have been literally everybody. So please assume some random person in the neighborhood going into a building, like literally everybody was doing in the area. People walked into that building all the fucking time. But he stands out because he's not supposed to be there. I'm not supposed to be there either. By the way, people have done a little bit of a weird thing in Georgia. There's a couple of videos of people putting on full-on body armor under their clothing and walking into construction sites and walking out to the person across the street that's looking at them and say, "Hi, do you think I'm a thief?" The first response one of them had was, "No, you don't have anything. You didn't steal anything." He's like, "Okay." Just making the point. This is my test your security people outfit. Stereotypical stuff a person wears when they want to not be visible, I guess. Or it could just be a longshoreman with pretty locks and a bald head. I expect the security department at a building to respond to anyone that doesn't appear to be like everybody else who goes there. to be that they ask the person about it. But I also expect them to understand that if the person is not breaking any rules and you don't have a reason to believe anything has happened, what you do is you delay a person and wait for someone to say, hey, someone stole something. If there's no call in while you're talking to the guy, delaying him, if they're not trying to escape, they're probably not a thief or a violent person, so you should leave them the fuck alone. Because at that point, you're just being a dick. In the comment section, I see people complaining about being pulled over by cops because they're traveling, not driving. I see people say things like, if a cop enters my yard, I'm allowed to shoot them. There's a guy up the street that way who has a piece of property that says, no trespassing to liberals, they will be shot on sight. Some of you do not have any idea exactly how fucking obnoxiously stupid you are. Yes, you do. You do this to get aggravations into people. You do this to heckle people. You do this because this is how you get back at the world for not agreeing with you. There are religious people who say, or ideological people, depending on which one you say, it's so hard to wake up others when I tell them my truth. You mean people don't agree with you, therefore you consider them sheeple and that they're asleep. It's a simple thing to figure out when you talk to somebody like that, for even 5 minutes. When someone sees this shooting, it is, you could say that it's ambiguous in some way, I guess. That's fine. I'm not actually complaining about that. You can go ahead and do so. I don't think it's ambiguous at all. I think it's very obviously a shooting of a person that was not justified. You are also the kind of people who say that anybody who's unarmed is being killed by tyrannical cops. But if it's a random citizen who decides to shoot somebody by chasing them down in a vehicle, getting in front of them, blocking their pathway, and then pulling a gun out and pointing it at the guy on camera, you seem to not notice any of these things. And that these individuals had a preconceived notion that they were basing themselves on. And I want to mention something. Travis McMichael sounds really, really man-child scared on that 911 recording. He sounds really scared. And you were told by some lawyers that you're supposed to sound like you're terrified for your life when you get on the phone, even if you're not. Sound scared. If you shoot somebody, you have to say, I was in fear for my life. You're not supposed to be cool about it. Or say something simply, the person gave me no choice. I'm not sure if they were trying to commit suicide, but they attacked me while I was pointing a gun at them saying, leave me alone. The most aggravating, infuriating thing you can do to a person who's mentally ill is tell them, go away, or what they interpret as, obey me. I'm not going to do what you tell me. A psychotic person being told no is like literally shooting at them. They freak the fuck out. This kid, jogging along the road, he's not jogging that fast. Leaving the area so they had no power over him and they were chasing him was a problem. I don't think he was trying to run away at full speed. I think he was just trying to take another pathway and maybe they would leave him alone. Just go away. I've been chased while I was on a bicycle by a person who wanted to get my attention. So I took advantage of the environment. That's what I criticized in the video. Everybody needs to learn this. Evasive behavior with people in vehicles. I'm a bicyclist. Those, we call them cagers when you're insulting towards them. You take a pathway they can't take, and then you get the fuck out of the area. And you take a pathway, you have to know the area well enough so that you cannot be hurt. It doesn't matter what their intentions are. If they don't shoot you or run you over, you're good. I've been attacked by a person who tried to run me over with a car a couple of times. One guy, you can watch videos on YouTube of someone cutting you off, and it's like, okay, you have a vehicle and you managed to cut me off. I pull a bicycle out to the side, wham, one tire, wham, the other tire, wham, the other tire. Bust out a taillight so they get pulled over for it if they don't get it fixed. And then leave. Do as fast as I can. 1-2 seconds maximum. Or I fucking evade. What do? I evade. I think he was trying not to get killed. I think he was trying to take it cool because he didn't really think that they were going to hurt him. Maybe they're just fucking with him. Maybe he's thinking that. Maybe he's been fucked with once or twice in his life and decided not to overreact. I've learned never ever I will always overreact and run the fuck away. I'm the biggest chicken shit on the planet because I don't want to die. And you know what? Travis McMichael sounds like another chicken shit. I saw somebody in the neighborhood and they scared me. At the same place that lots of people walked through that building. Unless he was ignorant of that and he only paid attention if it was a black guy. None of this looks like anything other than the shit you're really, that is being touted in the press. Just because CNN says it doesn't mean it isn't really true. Sometimes. But I thank everybody for showing up and making me look this up so I could find out. Yeah, the update is definitively the guy it might not even be the same guy who went into the building, but we don't know. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.